And we are live in Ruach country. My name is Avi Schnall, and welcome to the next edition of the Agudah Live in Camp Agudah Ruach country in Ferndale, New York. And we are joined once again by my co-host, Rabbi Shai Markowitz. Good evening, Rabbi Markowitz.
Good evening, Rabbi Schnall.
It is always great to be back in Camp Agudah. Camp Agudah coming, doing the Agudah Live here is one of the highlights. Agudah Live has been going for many years already, several years already. We've done several locations. We've been in Rosh Yeshiva's houses and yeshivas and in Washington. I think we did one.
Are you saying that the most fun is in camp?
But I think the most fun, or the funnest of all of the Agudah Lives is right here in Ruach country.
That was so much a show, correcting over there.
There's nothing like it. And we are told that there are many, actually I'm looking at the screen, there are many parents that are logged in, hoping to maybe get a glimpse of their Yingala, their dear son, get to see that he's wearing the matching shirt to the matching shorts, and that he's fed, he's okay. And throughout the night tonight, we're going to be interviewing the head counselors, several counselors, bunks, some of the alumni of Ruach country, some learning rabbeim, the learning directors perhaps, and we're going to be able to give a glimpse of the parents live of what actually goes on. And in a little while, we're going to be going to the live concert. I believe this is called Music for the Soul.
Yes.
Is the name of the concert. This is the 8th Music for the Soul concert. And this year's featured stars are, I believe, Shlomi Daskel
and
who's the Shmuley Unger, who I happen to love very much. I think it's fantastic. They're both great. They're both really great. And as usual, Ruach country never lets us down. So I think we're going to go to our first guest.
Rabbi Neiman.
Our first guest of the evening is the man that makes it all happen. The head counselor.
No, not me.
The head counselor of Camp Agudah. The one that brings the Ruach to Ruach country. Rabbi Neiman.
Hello, how are you?
Bring the mic up.
How
Gotta
are you,
move the
Avi?
mic all the way up so we can, all of the
Can you hear
parents
me
can
now?
hear you clearly.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Avi, and hello, Shai. It's great
Hello,
to see
Rabbi
you back.
Neiman. Baruch Hashem, it's great to be back. How
It is
are you?
great to be back, by the way.
Now, we just know Rabbi Neiman is working off of like 72 hours of no sleep. We just had a color war.
Oh, wow.
I will not discuss who won. I think a little bit upset my son did not win.
All right.
The money I sent in didn't really...
Before the scores were announced, we announced that everyone won this color war, so you don't have to worry. But, yeah.
Everyone's a winner in Ruach country.
Obviously.
No,
I remember those lines.
That's not how I said it.
Okay, good.
That's not how I
good.
said it.
There are winners and then there are losers. And some people win and some people lose.
Well, if you're in Camp Agudah, you're a winner automatically. So
You could tell Avi is not an alumni of Camp Agudah.
right. It's okay. We like him anyway.
Very much so. So, Rabbi Neiman, tell me, so far this is the third year in Camp Agudah that we've been doing Agudah Live. And Baruch Hashem, every year, the feedback from the parents, from the kids, is the amazing excitement, the ruach, and the special attention that they get. But you don't get to hear from a staff member what he really likes about the camp. What do you like? You come home and what do you think about saying, wow, that was special about the summer?
Well, what I love about Camp Agudah is the opportunity to be able to connect with so many people and so many so many different ranges of, in different places where they come from, and so many different ages, and it's a tremendous opportunity to reach out to kids, whether they had a good year in yeshiva or they didn't have a good year in yeshiva. Bottom line is, we need a place in the summer for them to have a great time and to pump into them tremendous positive geschmack and Yiddishkeit, which is what we do over here. And that's the most thrilling for me. That's the most thrilling part of the job, to be able to watch kids thrilled and just so elated and so enjoying it here as a Yid, as a Ben Torah. Internalizing the Torah that they learn in yeshiva and being able to reinforce it and being able to give them over that geschmack, that enjoyment in Yiddishkeit, watching them, especially, the boys. Sometimes it's not always easy to sit in a classroom. It's not necessarily meant for everybody to be able to be on top of the class. But in camp, there's so many opportunities for everyone to thrive and to shine, and to watch that, the kids coming in. Sometimes, not the most happy, but leaving beaming, leaving just on top of the world is the most incredible thing. I tell the counselors, we're like kids in a candy store over here, because there's so much opportunities, so many hundreds or thousands throughout the summer of opportunities to make people feel good around you, and that's an incredible thing.
But how many campers are there in Camp Agudah? Average, you don't have to give me exact.
A good Baba doesn't say how many grandchildren they have.
No, it's about there's 300 campers, there's 400, there's 500,
Ballpark, I mean, we have close to, I would say, be'erich campers, sleepaway campers, about close to 600.
Wow.
So, and they're from all over the country.
All over the world.
All over the world.
I mean,
hopefully
primarily from all over the country, but we have first half, actually even now, we have a camper from Eretz Yisrael. We had a camper first half that came from Eretz Yisrael, literally was not able to speak a word of English.
Oh, wow.
A little boy, a little kid, fifth grader. And we were like looking, oh my gosh, how is he going to make it? How is he going to... And he loved it. He had a blast. There's like a certain language, there's a certain communication.
The language of love is universal.
Able to have that you don't even have to necessarily, and he picked up, the language a little bit, but still, as he left, we were still, we had our translators and we had our things, but he had friends and it was great. It was really...
Yeah, I know Zevi Goldshmidt is on the board of camp. Always after camp, he sends out the report to the staff and about how broad the Camp Agudah is, how it reaches so many different people, so many different states, number of countries, different number of yeshivas. It's not. I think one of the special things about it is that it's not limited to one locale, one type, one shnit. This is really Agudah Achas coming together of different people, different types, and the main thing is getting together. Everyone works together. The styling, the growing, ruchnius, begashmius, chesed. It's just really amazing.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem, it's an amazing thing how we're able to keep to a Messiah that we've been given. What Camp Agudah has always been about, and yet be able to be fresh and innovative and fun and current.
I think it's incredible. You just touched on something which is really special about Camp Agudah. Specifically, Camp Agudah has been around for how many years? 80 years?
78,
78 years, a long time.
The last Agudah dinner was 75.
And you would think that after 78 years, that there's the traditions. You hold on to the old, but there's also innovation. And how many phone calls do we get before camp starts? I have a son, he wants to go to camp. Can you push him in?
How many friends I lose because of this?
We are the most popular people when it comes like May time, April, May, that time when everything is closed, you can't get any more. We are the most popular people in Lakewood, or Flatbush. Yeah. And then when like June time comes, we have no more friends anymore.
Of course.
But you see the people are banging down the doors to come to the Camp Agudah, that after 80 years, they're still on top of the game.
I just want to tell everyone, if you're going to apply for camp, do it by November or December. Don't come to us in May. That's it. Get your dates down.
Right.
November, end of November, the applications go out. You got to be
find out what the deadline
15th.
is.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a shame because we feel so bad when a kid gets closed out, and like we wish you could, be able to expand. You just can't.
Legally, you can't.
The Grand Sing, which was last night, the storyline behind one of the alma maters was a kid that was on the waiting list and he wasn't allowed to come to camp. So it's a very
apropos, very real.
Yeah, so like a lot of kids feel that.
But then you got in.
With the right connections, Yeah. If you know Avi Schnell, then you get in.
Right. Not really. No, I'm talking to the camera. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. But it was an incredible 78 years. 78 years. Camp Ruach Country, Camp Agudah is still rocking. It's not the height of its game. It's still the premier camp in the mountains. And it's gone through a lot of phases, so to speak, and a lot of hills and ups and not down, just ups. It just keeps on going up and up and up, which is incredible. And probably the leadership of the camp, I would venture to say, has definitely a role to play in that.
Every single aspect is like, especially from my vantage point, you're able to just ride the waves of Siyata D'Shmaya. That's just
incredible.
Most beautiful thing to see. That's what it's about. We're in a very special place. We always tell the kids it's a Machane Kodesh, and we believe it. We mean it. It is. It's a special place, and we see the Ziyata D'Shmaya constantly.
Rabbi Neiman, we have many, many parents that are watching us.
Oh.
Many. They're watching us live.
Oh, they are. Okay.
And they're saying,
I
oh
thought
boy.
we were having a private conversation here.
Yeah. Not just a few cameras that are watching in. But there are many, many, many parents that are watching, and I don't have the exact numbers, but it's quite a large amount. If you had to give over a message to the parents, they're going home next week, so it's like, take them back. But if you had a message to give over to the campers,
teach them how
to the parents
of the campers,
the message I would give is
at the end of the summer.
The end of the summer, we are so, on behalf of the whole head staff, we're so thankful to you for sending us your kids and the opportunity to give them a blast, and to give them a blast as, like we said, as a Ben Torah, as a thriving young yeshiva boy. We hope that they come back. Obviously, listen, mommies, they're going to come back tired, okay? They will come back tired. Give them a day or two to get back to themselves. But we hope that they come back to you as happier kids and more educated and inculcated wholesome Yiddishkeit within them, to be able to come back to yeshiva and take on the challenges of the year in a better way. And we hope to see them back.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Neiman. I hope you have a great time tonight dancing your heart away.
Looking forward to the concert.
Thank you for having us out. Thank you.
I think it's an incredible thing. 78 years.
Keep on going.
78 years of camp. Unbelievable. And it's still packed. Someone's sitting there. I don't know who it is.
Okay, we're going to find
Zevi
out.
Goldshmidt.
Zevi Goldshmidt. Shalom Aleichem.
You were not supposed to admit that on camera.
Shalom Aleichem. No, you had the Goldshmidt look. I was going to guess. If you give me part of my game I was going to have over here. Zevi Goldshmidt. Son of Shragi Goldshmidt.
Indeed.
Yes.
Grandson of Dean Goldshmidt.
And great-grandson.
And great-grandson of Rabbi Scherer.
Right, okay.
Wow.
But his claim to fame is also he's an own person.
That he's Zevi Goldshmidt.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anybody else. No other. It's not all about yichus.
Okay, so Zevi, there's about 600 campers in camp. And there's probably 100 staff members. And then you have a whole bunch of other unrelated or unaffiliated staff. I learned that last year. The unaffiliated. The unaffiliated people. And then there must be the...
It's like almost like
what role do you have in this camp?
I am a 7th grade counselor. Proud
7th grade counselor. Okay, so now there are many, many, many counselors in camp. And I'm sure that of all the counselors in camp they could have picked, the one they chose to put on Agudah Live to showcase to all the parents is Zevi Goldshmidt. Why?
I think Rabbi Feuer has a reason why.
But Zevi, honestly, as a counselor in camp Agudah, what gives you? It's hard. It's a hard job being a counselor. What do you find is that like the drive every day? You got to go be busy with your bunk, and there are probably a couple of kids that are hotter, and you keep on pumping. What's the drive behind? What keeps you going?
So it's a very fulfilling job.
Ah.
There are many boys that come from all different backgrounds, and everyone needs help in certain areas. Everybody, the kid's good at sports, he needs help in his learning, vice versa. Many kids. And
That's not mutually exclusive, by the way. You could have kids that are good at sports and good at learning also.
That's true.
Of course.
I thought Coach Baruch only gives different people
different talents. Okay.
But to be able to help them, to be able to connect with them, to be able to help them grow in their everyday lives. Here in camp, they're here for 2 months.
That's
and Rabbi Neiman always says that this summer, the counselor could be more powerful than a Rebbe the entire year.
100%.
That's because he's living with him, breakfast, lunch, supper, putting him to sleep, with him throughout the day, with him with all his friends, teaching him Ben Adam L'Chaver to say please, say thank you, have a Kar Satayv. I want to point out camp actually has many different types of programs that encourage and teach the boys to have a Kar Satayv and to daven beautifully. There's a program actually called Chabura Chizuk Tefillah.
Chabura Chizuk Tefillah.
Very exciting
The
program.
Ches.
The Ches.
Okay.
But only for Jews.
They actually just give out duggies tonight to all the boys who completed
Chabura Chizuk. What was it? Chabura Chizuk?
Chabura Chizuk Tefillah.
Oh.
Tefillah. Oh, Ches. Tough. Okay. I heard the mumbling in the background. Ches. Tough. Got it. Okay,
It's
good.
education, Avi.
To those who show up on time to daven, to those who daven B'Kol Ram. And teach the boys that when they go back home, take these memories with you, take these lessons with you, and continue to daven beautifully. Continue to be Adam L'Chaver. Last year we had a program. Every year we have different types of programs. Last year we had a booklet. Every day you filled out. How many times do you say thank you that day? The
Right.
goal is to say
Oh,
10
wow.
thank yous
Right.
that day to your counselor, to your Rebbe, to your friend. Do a chesed for your friend. And these programs instill in the boys real things they can take home, midas in life, things that get them far in life.
You know, if you think about it, a boy in a bunk has, how many kids are in a bunk? How many kids are in your bunk?
Roughly 16. In my bunch,
16?
Wow.
That's a lot of kids. So if you have 16 kids in a bunk, that's 16 roommates. Imagine living at home with 16 brothers and sisters in one room.
So much fun.
So much fun, right? But 16 kids in a room means every night when you go to bed, every one of those 16 kids, or bakarim, whatever you want to call them,
You have to tell a story
have
too.
to have respect for each other, let them go to sleep, and not make noise, and respect the counselor, and listen to the counselor, who's not their parent, who's not their rebbe, who's a bakar in yeshiva. It's a tremendous amount of midas that are built from just being in the bunkhouse.
Interacting.
Just bedtime itself is like this massive opportunity of learning how to grow as a person. It's unbelievable.
Avi, you sound like you really want to go back to being a camper, counselor. I mean, in camp.
I would love to go back to camp. Even the unaffiliated, I'll take it. The DU, whatever they call themselves.
Avi, you were in camp the
I
whole
would
summer.
do it.
Let's remind everyone you were in camp the whole
So
summer.
Zevi, you were here as a camper?
this is my 10th year, Baruch Hashem.
10th year, wow.
We learned in the past that this place is a family. You come in at one time and you're stuck for life. That's it. You go in as a camper. You go out. You know, after many years of being a counselor, it's the people come and they stay. And how many years staff? This is your second year staff?
This is my 5th year.
As a staff member?
Let me tell you, you come out as a changed person.
Wow.
Camper stage and then through staff member stage.
5 year staff.
Very
Wow.
fulfilling.
Does that get boring?
Not at all.
After
Every
10
year
years, isn't it the same color war we know? The last week at camp is always color war. That's like the rule of every camp. Fake out. Then we have the grand trip. We go to the same place. We go this. The Friday night. Does it get monotonous, like the same thing over and over and over again?
I can't get enough of this ruach.
Can't get
Every
enough.
year,
No.
places.
Wow,
That's
country,
it.
beautiful.
Ruach.
Amazing. Zevi, it was great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
And you
much.
definitely made your whole family very proud. By the way, I will send regards to all of them.
I told your father,
And,
hopefully he'll come later. He'll get on the show at the end. I asked him to come on. We'll see if he makes it in time.
After you saw Zevi, it's a hard competition.
Now he does, right?
Hard
Now he better
competition.
come.
But thank you very much for coming, and thank you for being a counselor. Today, a lot of Bachrim, they go to Pacific camps and road trips, all places. You chose the high road, you became a counselor.
Camp Agudah is where it's
And you're
at.
having a hashpah. It's a tremendous thing.
Thank you very much.
Ashrecha.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Okay.
10 years, the same camp, it's not bad.
Yeah, you know, Avi, not every person has
You
to
wouldn't be
leave
able to
camp.
last 10 years. You wouldn't be able to do it.
What?
You get burnt out of it.
Chas v'shalom.
Every convention, every new convention, new themes, new this thing, you have to always
Did you
change
help?
things.
What is our theme this year?
I don't know, but everything is new. The camp is like 10 years. it's the same.
Stories.
Doesn't get burnt out. And we have our next
Oh.
guest. I really should have stood up before you walked in. It wasn't right.
If we wouldn't know, they have to tell us.
But it's a schus and a covet to welcome our next guest, Rabbi Feuer, who is the learning director of Camp Agudah.
But first
And,
of all, before he gets a special double mazel tov
Right.
before camp, starting camp. It's been a very, very busy season for him, not just in camp, for everything that he's been doing in camp, but Lamaisi in his family. Baruch Hashem, he has simchas continued, nachas, bracha, and
I got
hatzlacha.
to tell you that celebrating our son's wedding in the middle of the summer with what we call Camp Agudah family was an experience in itself.
But
Oh,
Shabbos
you made a
Shabbos-
chasna
Shabbos
in the middle of
Shabbos-
I made right before Shabbos B'Tammuz.
Wow.
We made a chasna.
Hey, where was Shabbos Shabbos brachas?
It was right here in the
Right,
mountains.
it was-
Can you imagine we made the offer from camp?
Wow,
In
over.
camp?
I knew something was happening here.
Shavrachas was in another camp. We're not going to mention, right? A camp down the road. And so everything was really revolving around Ruach country.
Did they do things on city time or
recommend it,
camp
by the
time?
way.
Was it city time or camp time when you had like the wedding and everything?
That's incredible.
My wife told me you better be there city time.
You're gonna show
The invitation, like 2 lines.
city
For
time.
those coming from Ruach country, city time.
Right.
Baruch Hashem. You know, I'm really I'm watching this go on, and I'm thinking, really, you should come to camp for like a couple of days.
We should.
Really experience
We
what
should.
we
We,
got going here.
we were waiting for the invitation, Lisa, but it just didn't show up.
If you want to know why we don't get tired of this and how much ruach is here, you have to come and experience it. I mean, there were people at the Grand Sing last night that have been at the Grand Sing for 40 years. These are grown men. 40 years, they don't miss a beat.
Incredible.
Explain that to me.
Unbelievable.
It's ruach. This is ruach country. It's the way it is.
Let me ask you, Harav. In camp, you're always in the learning. You know, one of the highlights is that kids come to camp here and they have an opportunity to shine in their learning, perhaps in different ways than they had in yeshiva. What has been this year? You felt was a highlight in the learning aspect, innovative in ways that were able to give kids a chizuk, a chiyus in their learning, and they can take with them?
Well, first of all, you have to know that, and the parents should know this. When I was a camper in Camp Agudah, our Rabbeim were Bachrim, many of them.
Really?
There were some older Rabbeim as well, but there were a lot of Bachrim. I have a car step to my Rebbe. It was an 18-year-old Bacher from Long Beach. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Amazing.
That's
By
incredible.
Shaina Ritterman. He lives in Lakewood today. He made a tremendous impact on me. And shout out to him. Tremendous. My son and his son were Chaverim in Long Beach. So you see how it works.
Wow.
Today we have a staff of 40 Rabbeim, just in the camping end. Besides the Masmidim and the Mechina. 40 Rabbeim, all from across the country. Literally. Norfolk, Virginia. 2 Rabbeim from Norfolk.
Wow.
Denver, Colorado. We have a Manal of Denver Yeshiva.
Wow.
I mean, how many
All
camps
over.
could boast? They have a Manal from Darche, 2 Manalim from Darche. Rabbi Finkelman. We have Rabbanim here that are Rabbeim here. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing staff.
It has to match the campers, which are also from such a broad audience.
Oh, absolutely.
The staff also matches that same thing.
Absolutely. So it's Kamayim Panim al Panim. So we have these tremendous Talmidei Chachamim that are normal and down to earth. We match them up with the greatest Talmidim, greatest campers, and that's a recipe for success. So when you come into a classroom here in Camp Agudah, whether it's a gazebo that's outdoors or a classroom that's indoors, I mean, you really feel the Koyach HaTorah here, which is amazing. Also, there's a lot of innovation.
Right,
Just,
what are innovative ideas that you do besides for regular learning groups?
Well, we have the regular learning is amazing, but
Right.
we have a lot of extras. We have
Right.
of course, we have the Color War booklet, which is a tremendous tool. This year we had on for Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. We had a Shmiras Halash, and every day the boys got a sefer. They learned a few halachas there with the Rabbeim, and there was donuts given at the end of the week. There was like a whole program, and we have a Mishnah Yomis program. Every day there's a Mishnah day that they learn, also with incentives attached to it. We have a Dirsha program, every night. So there's a lot of incentives attached to all this stuff. So we'll do whatever it takes to get the spark of every Talmud, and every kid's different. Some kids like halacha more, some kids like Bekiyas more, some kids like more of a Lamdash Shir.
Are all these programs mandatory, or like the kids can pick and choose what they want? Like, I'm listening to you say all this stuff. I'm like, wow,
Well,
that's a lot of programs. That's a heavy day.
It is a heavy day. I talk to other camps. A lot of camps lately have been changing their program to learning only in the morning. Camp Agudah's Messiah, again, like Rabbi Neiman mentioned. We're all Talmidim of years of Messiah. I was a little boy here in Camp Agudah as well. Came from Miami Beach, Florida. So our Rabbeim here in camp taught us well. And we feel that the learning should permeate the entire day. We have morning learning, we have afternoon, we have night Seder, we have Cocoa Club in the morning for those of you out there. I'm sure many parents here remember Cocoa Club. When I was a kid, David Teichman taught us Mishnayos in his bathrobe, right? But guess what? For a kid from Miami, that made a big impression. You should wear a bathrobe. I mean, that you should learn Mishnayos.
Were there any other bathrobe stories in camp this summer?
So between Cocoa Club in the morning, Shir, and then night Seder, second Seder, the 9th grade has a program at night with Rabbi Eliyahu Kaufman, Shabbos afternoon with Rabbi Feuer. It's really amazing. The kids come home and they're completely involved in learning. And like I tell the parents, what's so important about the way we learn here is when the kids come home from camp, besides all the ruach they got, the dining room, the zmiras, I mean, tonight by the concert, the place is rocking, the building's shaking, really. And I can tell you that the kids are not rusty. They're going to be able to go right back into the classroom, any yeshiva, anywhere in the country, especially the boys going to 9th grade high school. We are here to gear them up and send them back to the city, perfect condition, and then some.
I was about to say, then so I said, it may really be. You have some campers that are learning more here in the summertime than they learn all year round.
I don't know about hours.
Not hours-wise.
Not sure about
but that
quantity, but quality.
That boy that maybe struggles all year round.
Yes.
That doesn't sit in the classroom all day long because he's maybe
we had a
other
boy
offices.
We had a boy that
here.
came second trip and started off a little bit rough. And I could tell you that with encouragement from the head staff and the learning department and the Rabbeim, his Rebbe took a personal interest in him. I have not seen the kid without a smile in the last 3 weeks.
Amazing.
That's what Camp Agudah does. We change lives. That's what we do. That's what we love, and that's why we don't get tired of doing it. It's our schus and our privilege.
Well, thank you very much. And I wanted to say that I know that my son, as he was here, he's always taken advantage of those extra learning opportunities that you've created, and it does something because at home we've also taken on also some extra learning ideas. That, hey, look, this can happen in camp. These are things that you can add on the small few minutes. It's something that also impacts the whole family, even throughout the year. So thank you very much, and continue
Thank you for
bracha
having us. Thank you
v'atzlacha.
for hosting this.
It's
fun.
great.
We thank you for the invitation for next year for
Right.
a couple of days.
Talk to
I'm going to tell Rabbi Newmark, Rabbi Feuer, Rabbi Feuer.
We're gonna clip
But
that part
before
and send it
you
to Rabbi
introduce
Newmark.
An alumni bunk. Bunk alumni.
As long as 2 years ago we were here for Shabbos and they put us on the 5th floor of that building.
Only you, Avi. I was
That we can't do again.
I was
That
right
we
over
can't
here.
do again.
I was right over here.
You have special protection over here. But it happens to be pretty incredible. The learning program.
They're just sending us
And
guys
groups.
down the. they got a
Wow,
whole
who else do
lineup.
we have over here?
Shalom
Okay, Shalom
Aleichem.
Aleichem. Who are you?
Rafi Lehrer.
Put it down.
Let me fix the mic for you a little bit and move it all the way forward. Say
Okay.
it one more time so your mother hears you.
Rafi Lehrer.
Rafi Lehrer. Where are you from, Rafi Lehrer?
Marine Park.
Marine Park, Flatbush.
Yeah, you heard that?
All right,
Small
Flatbush. I have a
Jewish
brother
community.
living in Marine Park. That's pretty cool.
Where
What school do you go to?
Near.
To the Mir.
Beautiful. Okay, nice.
What bunk are you in?
In Bunk. Chavdalit.
Bunk Chavdal. Who's your counselor?
Dani Saidov.
Dani who?
Dani Saidov.
Oh,
Is
okay,
he the
okay.
best counselor in Camp Agudah?
Yeah.
Was
By
that-
far.
My father.
All right, where is he? There he is.
He's right there.
Oh, you get a shout out. If you have like, the
Right.
video, we'll zoom on it, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time.
Very good. So let me ask you, we've been talking so far to a lot of staff members, and they give us their point of view, and they're selling camp. Tell us the truth. Tell me what's your favorite part about camp.
Camp. Definitely the sports.
All right.
Okay,
Definitely
good.
the sports.
What bunk? What you said you're in Chavdalid?
Yeah.
So is that they have ABBL? What?
ABL basketball league.
So how was that?
What is that? What's ABL?
Tell Avi what ABBL
What
is.
is ABBL?
It's Agudah basketball league, and for 8th graders, so we all.
How's that ABBL? It's Agudah ABL.
Right.
Basketball.
Basketball is one word. Okay, it's fine.
It's all the
Okay,
education.
it's good. It's good. ABBL. Okay.
Every day, everybody plays, and it's very competitive. Quick games, very fast, lots of scoring.
So there's no baseball.
There is baseball leagues. We have first activity, you have leagues. It's different. They're all very competitive, but ABBL is by far the best.
So you have regular leagues. Try to understand it. You have regular leagues,
Uh-huh.
which are all sports,
Yes.
which are
All
league
sports.
teams against league teams.
Yeah, every day, different sports.
Every day.
Basketball,
And then you have
baseball.
something else, let's say second activity, or third activity, whatever it is, which is the ABBL,
Yeah.
which is strictly basketball.
Yeah.
Yes.
And every camper's part of that ABBL,
No, just 8th grade.
8th grade.
It's just an 8th grade program.
8th grade program for that, they play, we are the basketball players.
Yes.
And if a kid can't play basketball,
He plays anyway.
he plays because he learns how to play.
Yes.
The kid learns how to play. So that's super competitive, I'm assuming.
Yeah, very, very.
Okay, how good are you?
He's
Something
okay.
like that, you know, it's pretty good. Where's his counselor? How good is he?
We sent him out.
Okay, he
got
gave the
him
nod.
out.
He said he's good. All right. So ABBL, that's your favorite part of camp?
Yeah.
Amazing, pretty good.
Yeah. But camp, besides for every day having, that's a good thing. ABL is part of camp every day. What was a highlight? What was maybe you had a nice trip you liked, or
Yeah. A trip to Boston was great. I love that trip.
Which one?
we went to Boston.
Boston.
It was such a good trip. I want to tell you, it was such a good trip. My son told me about it. That now we're going to Boston next week. Me and my family. And we're gonna see whatever camp. We're gonna go with the exact same schedule. But there's no. You guys went to a game. You didn't go.
No, we went to the park.
You went to the park. Also, my schedule next week. They don't have a game in Fenway Park, so we're just gonna tour the park like you guys did. We just took Camp Agudah's schedule and we're just gonna apply it to the Markowitz
To the
family.
Markowitz family.
Yeah, you want to join, Avi?
Maybe. In fact, it was a highlight of the summertime. How was Color War, by the way?
I liked it a lot.
You won or you lost?
I lost.
Oh, and he still says he liked it a lot.
Because
But
everybody,
no one's a loser.
everybody wins.
Excellent. How many years do you come to Camp Agudah?
This is my 4th year.
4th year. Does it ever get boring?
No, every year it changes.
Gets better and better.
Yep.
Amazing. Rafi, you said your name was?
Yeah.
All right.
Rafi, I want to ask you a question, Rafi. In yeshiva by you have come here with a bunch of kids from yeshiva, or you
3 or 4 kids.
small
That's
group?
it.
It's an amazing. The guys come as small group. It's not like the whole bunk is one chevron, and
Right.
that's the way they get to build up their friends. It's really amazing.
So in Lakewood, the day camps in Lakewood, by and large, are like yeshiva. They're just
Right.
like shifts into a day camp.
Right.
You know, my son goes to a day camp, which is really like an offshoot of Camp Agudah, because he was a counselor for like 40, 50 years. And then now he's running his own camp. Rabbi David Becker, shout out to Camp Yakat. But really, David Becker, really, it's like 4 yeshivas.
You know, David Becker's voice is in Camp Agudah every day. If you call up to get your voicemail, to leave a
It's
voicemail
his
for your
thing.
son, it's his voice.
So when my son goes, it's like his whole class, it's like 4 or 5 yeshivas, that makes up the whole day camp. And then another day camp is another 4 or 5 yeshivas. So he's literally with all of his friends
Same
all
time.
year long. You come over here, it's not like that.
No, you get to
You
make
have
new
boys
friends.
from Eretz Yisrael, from here, from there, from there, from there. 3 guys in yeshiva, but you obviously have friends with everybody else.
Wow,
And
beautiful.
16 kids in a bunk. Amazing. That's the opportunity that camp provides.
Right.
Amazing.
Rafi, thank you very much. I know they're calling everyone from Marav now, so thank you. I don't want you to miss that.
Having me.
Thank you.
I'm hoping to have you back next year.
About Hashem.
Good, very good. That's it. Well, finally, we got to meet a real camper here.
ABL.
Oh.
ABBL.
I was just about to say how we were excited to meet campers, and suddenly we get thrown in another head staff.
Whoever's sending them in is
What
doing a
makes you
great
think
job,
I'm
by
head
the way.
Huh?
What makes you think I'm head staff?
It's the beard.
I was going to say the white shirt, but it's not true over here in Camp Agudah.
No, not at all.
We were just talking about how they have I was talking with Rabbi Kleiman that when all the they have Gadol the weekend, all the Gadolim come whether on Shabbos or for the week. How every time there's everyone come out, everyone goes out and greets them, and everyone dresses up in the Shabbos clothing, their hats, jackets, white shirts. If they remember, they include wearing pants, but it's also very nice. It's it's one of the ways they make sure to bring the ruach to camp. So let me welcome. Thank you very much for coming to Agudah Live.
My pleasure.
You want to introduce yourself?
Rabbi Landau, correct.
Yeah, but
Shlomi
Okay,
Landau.
Shlomi Landau. So
But-
what do you do here in Camp Agudah?
I am the night activity director and
Oh,
head
wow.
staff.
And head staff.
and that's it.
But you don't just get one job in Camp Agudah. Everyone does.
It's like 16 names.
And
16.
substitute Rebbe for 8th and 9th grade.
Okay. And when you,
and the OD, and also this,
what is that? What does
And
that
you play
mean?
guitar?
And head staff. And what is that? What's the definition of
It just means that
The
you
head
have,
staff.
It just means you have more achrayas.
more guys? Okay, that's fine.
That's good.
Night
So-
activity. That's a tough job. Night activity.
It's tough, but it's amazing
It's
because
amazing.
kids have a regular day, and you got to come up with innovative ideas that are going to motivate them to be involved. And at night, even after a complete day of literally putting in everything they have, you kind of want to finish it off on a high. So
I honestly believe, I still believe, that I was a head counselor once upon a time, not here, someplace else. We're not going to mention it.
yeah, we don't mention that here.
I was someplace else, far away actually. And my hardest time as being a head counselor was at night, obviously. It's the end of a whole long day. The kids are zanked. They're wired. And this curfew, this canteen, night activity was like that filled that void. If we had a bad night activity, curfew was a disaster. There were more fights. There were more complications. If an activity rocked and it was the sun activity, the night was smooth. And if the night's smooth, the next day is smooth. The next
Agreed.
day is smooth. Then the whole summer is smooth.
100%.
So really, the whole camp is like hanging in the balance.
That's exactly
of
what
an
I feel.
activity. I can talk to Newmark about this.
I think you should. I think you should.
You're a good salesman on this, Avi. I think we can.
No, but I really believe that the night activity plays it's not just another activity. It's a crucial activity of the day of camp.
I agree.
I believe the kids don't have that night activity. They wander around camp for a few hours and they're tired, and then that's all the fights happen. That's all the trouble goes down because the counts are by the night activity, which is not working out because half the kids are out, and then they get into trouble, and then they get docked from activities, and you have a whole terrible cycle of events.
Agreed.
If night activity rocks,
Said
it
like
makes
a true
a
head
huge,
counselor.
huge difference in camp.
As if.
I see Rabbi Neiman is in the back and he's shaking his head. That's right. That's right.
He wants a raise.
What were some of the highlights of night activity this year? Like,
Right.
How about this? Some of the new ideas.
So I'll tell you something fascinating. When we were campers, night activity was very much was frontal. They'd have a competition on a stage.
Right, sure.
in
Talent
social
shows,
hall,
that kind of
talent
stuff.
show. It's a different dar. It's a different dar. And every kid wants to be involved in night activity. There you have 5 people involved. So you got to come up with night activities where every kid has an opportunity. So I'll give you a classic night activity which was off the charts. That's called Sports Switch. You have 13 different sports opportunities. The bunks line up. They have 60 seconds to shoot foul shots, hit 3-pointers, throw a football
they
into
go
a
around,
tire.
then
They
they
go
go around.
around. It's intense, and the bunk that wins gets an amazing prize.
That happens to be a
Listen,
phenomenal night activity. It's
Do you
a
want to
great
know
activity.
what the amazing prize is?
Yeah, sure.
They get a beautiful, large, cold,
Cup of
ice
soda.
cold watermelon.
Watermelon,
Okay.
really? The whole bunch?
Could you believe it?
Amazing.
And it's a trophy, and they take it back, and they cut
Really?
it up, and each guy gets a slice to make a bracha. And you'd think this is a camp where sometimes doggies and other, but Lamar said they
Watermelon.
worked hard. They got to get
Of course.
watermelon. That's great.
That's great.
That's
That's
it. I'm
incredible.
gonna try that on my house. See if that works exactly. Okay.
Shabbos party.
Exactly.
Just
Okay,
no,
we're
no,
doing
no.
First, you have to do the whole entire night activity, and then you can give the watermelon out. You don't just come with the watermelon and say, "Here, be happy and smile." That's not how it works so well.
Avi, now you tell me. You should have been
But,
giving me the parenting classes.
Do you do division, like entire division activities also?
that-
That's also challenging.
That's a very good question. Actually, Camp Agudah Kniner has so many different divisions.
Right.
They have different schedules. The younger kids don't have night seder.
Right,
So
right.
they have to have night activity right away. And then after that is 7th grade who finishes night seder. so they have a night activity. And 8th and 9th grade predominantly has their own
thing, because they're old
thing.
already.
They
Right.
play like very intense football and baseball, they have leagues.
Right.
So that's
Night leagues is
Night
big.
leagues is big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we usually do two more.
Our
often than not,
night
two or
activity director used to do that sometimes, by the way. He wanted to cop out, like he didn't have a good night activity. Night leagues, the kids love it, we'll give them night leagues.
Or
No,
free- or swim.
you were lazy, and you didn't prepare night activity for tonight.
I think Rabbi
And we didn't let
Neiman
them
walked
have
away.
night
I think Rabbi
activity.
Neiman walked away, but I like that night activity director.
I'm sure you we did not let night leagues so often, just as a cop-out, sometimes.
That,
we do
that,
once
that
or
and
twice.
swim.
Once or twice.
That and
All
swim.
right. Swim, right,
That
night
is-
swim.
yeah, swim, night
That's like
swim.
a trip
Yeah.
where the kids haven't played for a day or two. They want to
That's
get out
something,
on
they
the
want
courts.
to play in
and
the courts.
we want them to take a shower. So
But at the end of the season, you have to fill in all the games. As the league games, you have to get the night leagues
Correct,
because you have to
playoffs,
so the playoffs and stuff.
100%.
The night, incredible. Are there a lot of plays in camp? Do you do plays in activity?
So
or not so much.
we have a cantata,
The cantata.
and we have a musical
Oh wow.
and a play. So there's three major productions.
That's over 2 months.
It's over 2 months. We just had our play this past Thursday. The cantata was a week before that, and the other play was the first half of camp.
The first half of camp. Incredible.
So that's a great night activity as well, and it gives kids a new opportunity to see something they're not usually exposed to. So that's great, wonderful.
You know, we have over here parents watching, discussing, watching now, and watching in the future. What message do you would give a parent sending their kid or wanting to send their kid to Camp Agudah, or even just the sleepaway camp? What experience have you felt that you can give over to parents, tell them how valuable it is?
So if it's okay, I'm going to take a step back.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I do during the year, and I'll tell you the very unique vantage point that I have. I don't live in a regular, I guess you could say mainstream community. I live in a place called East Brunswick, New Jersey. I run a Kiruv organization for the Lakewood Yeshiva. I'm a Rebbe in a modern Orthodox high school.
Oh, you're a Belanda from Torah.
That's correct.
Oh, now it all got connected.
Anyways, so
Wow.
Bottom line is, I come to this camp, and I'm literally coming into a different world.
Whole different world.
You're
Whole different
excited.
I'm excited.
It's like
You're like, from Jews.
I don't say that, but I feel it. But at the
Incredible.
But at exactly the same time, I get the opportunity to literally see Klal Yisrael living together in the same bunk. You can have boys from the Mir and Chaim Berlin and Darche and Mexico, and you can have boys from Denver and Los Angeles. They're all living together.
And Lakewood.
And Lakewood, a few.
no, they have yeshiva still.
No,
The second half. Second half.
No, I'm sorry.
Your child gets an opportunity to be together with Klal Yisrael. There's nothing more powerful than living together with Klal Yisrael. Boys from maybe different, little bit of a different, schnit this way, that way, but we all live together. Ba'achdus, we grow together in ruchnius, we daven, we sing, we love each other. You cannot replicate such an experience by not sending your kid into camp. You got to do it. It's one of the best investments you probably could do for your child's chinuch. That's what I tell you, parents. Do it. It's worth it.
So let me ask you a question about that. Some kids are young, and parents may be worried who's going to watch my kid and who's going to look out for him, and he's going to get lost in the forest, and he's not going to eat his meals, and he's not going to give his laundry in, and he's going to come back. These are sometimes fears the parents have.
It's a valid fear, but it happens to be,
Is that true?
Looking from the outside in, the most talented counselors in our camp often are the counselors in the youngest division. They literally take care of them. They make sure that they eat, they take a shower, they do their laundry, that there are activities. They talk to them. They take them to the infirmary if they scrape a knee. There's such a beautiful dedication. Your children are in amazingly capable hands. There's division head for just the youngest kids. You have nothing to worry about. If your child has a drop of maturity, they'll come back being independent, which is amazing. So just do it.
What I thought was great also was I came in before Rabbi Carfield was coming in. He's from the senior head staff.
Right.
He knows every kid's name.
He knows everyone's
Where they're
name.
from. What
He knows
yeshiva
their
they're
phone
in.
number by heart.
Everything.
And
It's
you know the
unbelievable.
older ones. Not even. It don't have to be just like you. If you come
Kids
back
have
and
been
visit,
out of camp. Kids have been out of camp already. He goes, my Schwartz, whatever,
100%.
Chaim Berlin, 8th grade.
A kid down as well, he pulls out the phone, he calls the grandparents who are in Camp Agudah. He'll be like, you just missed the Shachris in Camp Agudah, it was off the charts. That's great.
that's great.
Amazing.
Nachas knows for their grandparents.
Yes.
That's the world we live in. That's
Rabbi
great.
Landau, thank you so much for
My
joining
pleasure.
us.
Such a success.
And I'll give you a good
Hatzlacha.
idea, by the way. A good idea for an activity.
Go ahead.
This is, I'm saying it publicly.
Let's hear it.
Take it, think about it. It's really
Okay, I
good.
will.
Musical chairs. Outdoors on a big basketball court. You line up 90 chairs. Picture it's like 90 chairs and 150 kids playing musical chairs together. And the music blasting.
I love it, but in today's
Try it.
dar, we'd have to have Shmili Younger doing the music.
Which will
have
help soon.
Let's do that tonight. Let's do it, man.
It works. It's great. Try it out.
Okay.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining
Such a
us.
bliss to be here. Thank you.
And have a great rest of the summer.
Thank you. Wow.
Activity. An activity, by the way, it's true, by the way. An activity is the most important activity. Yeah. If you had to narrow it down. He's back on the program.
Yes.
He's back on the program.
Okay. Yes, I know the interview.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom.
Remember
Okay.
Metz.
from what do you call it? From Darkei.
He's a veteran Agudah Live
Yeah,
participant.
exactly. We don't have this often.
In Darkei Torah,
Nada,
Rabbi
nada.
Bender took him out of class to be on the Agudah Live, and now in Camp Agudah we're taking him out of Shir. Does he have
Shir?
Shir now? Do you have Shir now?
No.
No, okay,
not
good.
Thursday night. Usually have Rabbi
Okay,
Shlomo
I
the
don't want
whole
to make any trouble with the Masvidim or whatever division you're in.
No, right now I'm on Camp Agudah.
You're in Camp Agudah?
Ninth
All
grader.
right, very good.
Major.
A
Excellent.
normal, regular, Hashani
Ninth
Yid.
grader?
Ninth grade.
Ninth grade division. That is Rabbi Eliyahu Kaplan's division, correct?
Yes, he's a pump, rebellion.
He's unbelievable.
Forget about it.
He's my
Not
classmate.
shy. He's not shy.
Everything that Rebellion knows is because of Avi.
Almost.
Avi taught him everything about camp. You think Rebellion is good?
So
You should
tell
come
me
to
about-
work with us.
Tell me like this, ninth grade. What makes the ninth grade division a little bit different than just a regular part of camp? I'm hearing about a lot about, then there's the camp, and then there's the mechina. Is that the ninth graders? Then there's the mechina, there's the masvidim. So what exactly is this mechina division of Camp Agudah?
Forget about the unique part of the ninth grade in Camp Agudah. The unique part of ninth grade in any other ninth grade camp in America is that the ninth grade over here is the biggest pump around. I'm talking about, this is what Camp Agudah represents, is through the ninth grade.
Wow.
We have,
That's a big statement.
Starting with
That's pretty good.
the
And he's been in camp for
The
dozens of
AFFL?
years.
Yeah. I'm saying
What's the
seven-
AFFL?
AFFL is like, it's called
Little
Agudah
double
Flag
ABBL.
Football. Right.
Flag.
Agudah
Yeah.
Flag Football League.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
You got that?
So we have this
Yeah, that
commissioner,
works.
counselor, been here for 13 years, hardcore Camp Agudah guy, Izzy Krasnow. He's like, he takes this league, this is his baby. This is his league. He takes this so intense and seriously, and we have like a Pro Bowl and we have a draft, and it's like a whole match.
There's a draft in the league?
This is like, it's not a real, it's like,
Wow.
it's a draft, and it's real
Don't worry,
intense.
there's
That's intense.
no signing
Who does
bonus.
The drafting, like the councils do that, or the campers do that? No.
So the councils get up there and they represent they call the draft, make it into a whole matzav.
Really?
Make a draft pick.
Wow.
It's like the NFL draft.
First round, second.
Do you know anything about the NFL draft?
It's the same idea. He knows about it. They say.
No,
it's
you
like-
don't.
Jerseys.
They say it's like the
you don't
ninth
get
grade
Jerseys.
draft.
Jerseys, everything.
Really?
Yeah,
But
sure.
it's only football.
Just football. Official flag football league.
So is there other leagues also as well? Like let's say
Yeah,
kid
we have all-
that
yeah,
wants to play basketball.
Some have also other leagues, but the unique league is
Like the
NFL.
eighth grade has the ABBL, you have the AFFL.
Yes, and plus we have leagues. We have
Plus
two-
leagues also.
Yeah,
Plus
this is
leagues
the-
and plus regular and then plus learning, and then plus all the extra activities. They're busy, and then night swim, of course. These guys they keep
Sure.
them very, very busy, making sure that they're really.
Amazing.
I think the reason they keep them busy so when they get home they're zonked and the parents have a little bit more free time. The kids are a little bit calmer maybe.
They're sleeping.
That's an excuse why the kids might be sleeping too much. You should know they worked very, very hard in camp. There was a lot of sports. There was a lot of learning. There was just tremendous amount of fun happening, and the kids need a little bit of a
What
break.
yeshiva are you in, by the way?
Takatar.
You still there?
Yeah, right there. Yes.
Okay, good. So let me ask you, when you go back to yeshiva, do you feel like you have to shift back into program?
Of course.
You have to feel, yeah.
You're in a bubble in camp. You're in a
Not just
cloud.
a bubble.
You're in a
But do
cloud.
you feel like the learning wise, it's hard to sit and learn a little bit? Like you're going back to yeshiva, now, okay, we're back to learning.
Of course.
Is it hard to get back into learning?
You
You
have
feel
to
like
focus yourself a little bit.
focus yourself.
There's a different style of learning in camp. But camp it probably doesn't have that Ian focus as much like we're talking about, but a lot of different style of learning. So like we said, there's the Ian in yeshiva, the Bikiyas, and then here you come here, you'll have a lot of other
Different
programs,
style.
different style, which allows. I went to someone told me, a guy who was in Panovich told me that in Panovich they make you not be in the same shiur for more than 6 months,
Really?
so you can get a feel for all the different styles of learning.
Styles.
So here,
Interesting.
in yeshiva, you have one basic style, and here you come to camp, you get to learn more others, different types.
Yeah, it's-
Is the ninth grade program part of the rest of the camp as well? Were you part of Color War?
yeah. We're
Part of the regular part of camp.
It's like our
You won or you lost?
We won. This is great.
You won or you lost?
We won.
You won. Okay, good.
It's not shy. Yeah.
We should, I think, hopefully, maybe they should all sing the Alma Mater. That's what we should get.
We're gonna
there.
get them.
Hopefully, we'll get them.
I think we're gonna get some teams
We'll
for some
try to get
generals,
them.
maybe.
We'll see if we can get them
All
to come
right.
out. Thank
Yes.
you. Beautiful. Okay, thank you very, very much.
Once
Hopefully-
again,
Come back.
coming on the program. This is a chazaka, by the way.
Last time also he asked us
This is
questions.
Chazaka.
Remember when we were in Darkei, he asked us questions.
That's right.
Sure.
Hatzlach Rabbi Baruch. I can tell you, I'm seeing from year to year, you're steiging. You're doing
Keep
okay.
it going. Hatzlach, Rabbi.
Thank you for joining us. All right.
Thank you.
Wow, pretty incredible. Ninth graders, very good. Very, very good. We're cruising on with our guests. Ooh,
it, man.
Rabbi Frischman.
Oh, Rabbi, wow. I've
Shalom
been
Aleichem.
waiting at least, 2-3 weeks to get and talk to you about an amazing picture I saw.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, so it seems like I couldn't understand this. I got a picture of a bunch of Masmidim from camp, and they're at maybe it was a water park, and they're wasting away instead of going to the water park. What are they doing there? They're sitting and learning. They're on the bus. They're sitting and learning. What happened there? You spend money. You send the kids to work, and then they're learning. What happened?
Keep them in yeshiva.
Yeah.
Keep them in
Please,
yeshiva.
you have to explain that to me.
Okay, Baruch Hashem, we had a tremendous Kiddush Kvod Shemayim. About last year, actually, we had a big tzorich for tzedakah. Somebody brought to our attention, and we decided on the bus is a lot of wasted time. So we had everybody. We got a bunch of phones from Rabbi Carfield. He has kosher phones, and everybody made a few calls, and we raised $10,000 for tzedakah.
How did you do that?
Everybody called a few relatives
And raise money for tzedakah.
and raised money for tzedakah
On the bus.
On the bus. We
Wow.
utilized the dead time.
Wow,
That's
really
one way to
incredible.
take advantage of time.
Baruch Hashem.
They learned, you should mention to the parents, they learned from that, and this year the rest of the camp called the parents and made sure all the parents signed up for the petition against the state education department. That they all had to, my kid called me up and said, Abba, did you sign up? You know what they're doing to our schools? So they
On the bus they did that?
We did.
No.
We Masmidim did actually did it
Masmidim
once
did
by
that.
supper. We did the same thing.
Oh, yeah, okay,
We brought down a computer and we had all the over 18 boys sign up, and everybody else called their parents to ask them to do it. Anyway, so this year was coming. We didn't really have the need for tzedakah to raise tzedakah. I'm sure there's always a need, but we said if we did it last year for tzedakah, these are Masmidim. So let us utilize the time properly, and we challenged them to try to do 1,000 blot.
Wow.
1,000 blot, 150 boys. It's about 6 blot a boy. On the trip, on the bus, the way there, on the trip itself, in between, outings, and then actually on the way home, the boys came up with 875. So right after the trip, many boys went to the Beis Medrash. We went to sleep with 975, and then in the morning, we finished it off, and we ended up with 1,200 blat, a little bit more than 1,200 blat. We made a big kiddush for them
Wow.
on Shabbos in honor of their accomplishments.
So it's an amazing idea that on the trip they're focused. Again, you're allowed to have the fun, you're allowed to go out and play, but on the free time, whether it's on the bus, the pictures I got were amazing. They're sitting on the bus. I got to show you on the bus. Did I send it to you? Picture on the bus, and you have 40 guys on the bus, all of them with the Gemaras open.
When I was in the Masmidim, I was once a camp here in the Masmidim. I was like Baruch Hashem.
From the Choshev
From the Cheshuvim Masmidim, absolutely. And Rabbi Belsky was sorry the Masmidim then. And we went to Niagara Falls. And Rabbi Belsky was on the bus with us. So that bus we did not learn. Rabbi Belsky was on the microphone the entire, not the all 10 hours, but whenever he was awake, we were singing songs. He was singing over Vedlich and Mises with Rabbi Moshe. I think the bus ride to Niagara Falls for Rabbi Belsky probably was like the highlight of the trip. And Rabbi Hillel Yarmov was on the bus with him. And we had a bus driver, Yidel, his name was a chazan by the Visions of Muncie. It was an unbelievable bus ride. Just being with Rabbi Belsky for those 10 hours on the bus. Accessible was incredible. Absolutely.
It's interesting. I told them as we were preparing for this trip that I remember Rabbi Belsky once on the way to Niagara did 40 blot of Gemara.
Oh, really?
I watched him do 40 blot.
It's not the that I was there.
I challenged him. That might have been on the way there, the way back. We went to Niagara yesterday, and Rabbi Melech, Shlita, his son, was on the bus, and Rabbi Yarmov was also on the bus, and the boys learned and sang, and
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
So I just want to mention on Sunday we're having a siyum.
Yes.
We have 70 boys of the Masmidim making siyumim on various mesechtas, and it's a culmination of really a whole year, a whole summer of them learning with tremendous asmada. But they also had a great time. We did go on the trips, and they did enjoy the trip. Even though they were learning the whole time, that's part of it. Part of the Simcha Sachayim is having a good time, but also learning and steiging. That's what the Masmidim program is all about.
Where the boy you have over here in the Masidi program is really separate from the camp. There's a major focus on the learning. You have the Rebbeim, you have different Rashi Chabur or whatever it is.
Different Beis Medrash.
A whole different base medrash. It's like a whole
different dining room also, I remember, right?
It's a camp within a camp. Its own separate schedule, which you should know it's very impressionable on the rest of this camp. I remember when I was in base medrash, the same thing. You have another group say, I want to be like that. These guys who learn more, who are refined. It's something very impressionable on all the kids also. But where all the campers from Masmidim from?
There's a tremendous variety of yeshivas. We have about 150 boys. Wow. If I have to guess, I would say they're from at least 40 different yeshivas. In other words, there's very little, you don't have big clumps of guys. It's a very nice variety, and they all come together, and immediately they bond into one and mesh into one solid unit. It's a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, the way they get along with each other. They're all from the same ilk. They're all B'nai Torah of the highest level. And even though they're from different yeshivas, and every yeshiva is different, and is mechanech their Talmidim differently,
but the common thread is they're all very, very high level B'nai Torah.
It was always like that. It was always like that.
And it has a tremendous
When you were there,
roshim,
especially.
as you mentioned, has a tremendous roshim on the camp. The effect on the camp. The boys come into the Beis Medrash to learn with the Chavrusis and to learn with the Rebbeim, and they see this going on, and it makes a tremendous roshim.
It's very special. My son was able to, like, when he either wasn't didn't want to play ball or whatever it was. And he told me a few times he'd come into the base bench, and if you go into an empty base bench, it's very hard to sit and learn. But when you go somewhere, it's okay. I'll take out a Mishnah, something. But he sees that there's another 20, 30, 40, 100 guys learning. It's like there's a cult terror going on. So if I want to walk around, I can end up in that place. If you wouldn't have that base bench filled with other guys like that, and also people who he could relate to, so then there's nothing there for him. But now it creates an opportunity for guys to say, oh, there's always a cult terror happening in the camp, which is picks up the level of the ruchnius in the camp.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to mention also one other thing, that we went on two big trips this trip, and both times the people that were there, the people that were taking care of us, mentioned the tremendous high level of midos and derech eretz that they saw in the boys, and they made a point of mentioning how they've never really seen a group behave so well. So really, it's the Torah and it's the midos, it's the Kiddush Kvod Shemayim.
Right.
I'm happy to know that the Masudim program is still good, like it was when I was here.
It didn't change, Avi.
The Midas is still good, the Asmad is still good.
We miss you. Come back, Sarah. You're always invited back.
I wish I could.
Avi's invited back so far. He's invited back to camp, invited back to Masmidim. That's it, man. You're coming here.
The whole month filled up.
Filled up.
Very good.
Thank you, Rabbi Fisher, for joining us.
Take care.
Continue Hatzlacha.
Amen. Thank
you so much.
Amen.
We have Rabbi Frischman Jr. over here. I want to really also introduce and take a moment. I don't know if I'm able to get him to come on. Rabbi Meir, do you have a minute? I want to wait for Meir to come on for 1 minute, please.
No, he's not going to come on. He's not going to come on.
Okay, we'll have to say.
After 60 years of staying away from the mic, he's not going to come on now.
Come wait 1 minute. Just a minute, please. How you doing? Quick.
How about this? Just shift the camera over. We have him on, and that's it. What are you asking for?
Lamaisa, at the end of the day, the camp's been around for many, many years. And we were talking about Besser before, about the history of the camp. And it all comes down to the history. Where'd it go? He went away. Mayor really
100%.
gave the camp his life. I was working even in the office. We think that camp is just 2 months. Mayor came in when he was giving camp every day. And the truth is, you think about it in camp, there's so many parents who call up. He dealt with every case, every parent trying to get kids in. So much thought went into them, sort of how to make it happen, how to make sure there was fun, how to make sure it was beruchnius, ubagashmius. The personal attention he gave was an amazing thing. And that's really everything that we have today is really working off of the shoulders and building on his shoulders of what he put into the many years.
And Newmark is definitely doing a great job.
Yeah, for sure.
Carrying on the torch.
Yeah, and Shimon.
We'll have to give a shout out to him as well. Who I'm sure is watching this in his office, but he won't come out because he knows we're going to cap him on. So it's made that both directors have that same personality of camera shy, which is why it works. That's why it works.
Right.
But so Shimon, we love you. You're doing a great job. We get to see you also in the office, day in and day out. Always cool, calm, and collected.
Yes.
No matter how tense it gets.
That's usually because of what I have in my office.
We have somebody else here. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to Agudah Live.
Welcome. What's your name?
Dani Saidov.
Dani Saidov.
Yes.
Tell me.
I'm assuming you're a Sephardi.
No. What gives you away?
Saidov. I wasn't.
Whoever put the decor on this table did a tremendous job. Very, very
Well,
nice.
we thank you for it, Dani.
Yes.
All right. Dani, what's your job in camp?
I am an 8th grade counselor in camp.
All right. Was that your camper on here before?
It was my camper here.
Oh, you're the great counselor.
He's talking about.
Oh, very good.
That's very good. Boy, okay,
very
good. Is this your first year in the camp?
This is my 5th summer in Camp Agudah. I was never here as a camper.
Really?
Yes, I started off as a staff member in Camp Agudah.
Wow.
And it's probably the
How
best.
did that happen? It's pretty good.
I don't know.
You must be pretty good.
I try.
Where do you live?
I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, very nice. Yeshiva?
In Archaim in Queens.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, that's it. Rabbi Finkelman, right?
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Okay, who else? Anybody else from Queens or from the yeshiva that are here also with you in camp?
I have a Naka counselor in 8th grade. His name is Ashi Sharf. He's a counselor here, and then there's Yuda Abenheimer. He works in the kitchen here from our yeshiva.
Okay, so you have a nice group. So you've been here for 5 years.
Yes.
It's basically the same question I have for almost everyone. Like, what this year has been your highlight as a staff member? That's all you've been always. What's been the highlight that you take home with you? You say you go back to the year and you say, "Wow, this is something I learned, I gained," and that's what keeps the energy happening.
I feel not necessarily an item or something, but every year that you come, every year you grow and you see yourself as a counselor maturing and it's very exciting to see things I haven't been able to accomplish in years prior to this one. I'm able to accomplish now, and it gives you a lot of chiyus, and it's very enjoyable. And the MS is that a lot of counselors here, they have friends that go on road trips, and they go to other places, and they can go have a great time. That's how you know that whoever comes here, they're coming not just for fun, but to put in work and effort, and to give the kids the greatest time that they can have possible.
That's right, 100%.
Well,
Were you always a counselor all the 5 years, or you had other jobs also?
And now I started as a staff day
counselor.
camp. Yeah.
Wow, very good.
You build yourself up. Wait,
Probably started the younger division.
Yes, I started with second grade. True Meister. You want to take a interesting?
Second graders, that's day camp.
Yeah,
Yes.
staff day
Started
camp.
the day camp. Got it.
I came, Rabbi Carfield here, he runs the show, as you've probably heard 100 times, but we cannot praise him enough. So Meister, when I came, I
You just got yourself the job for next year. Very good. Good
locked
move.
it up. Thank you. But I came, and you see right now, I'm with the 8th grade, and he's busy with the 8th grade, and he's with the senior leaguers and the junior leaguers. I came as a second grade staff day camp, and every problem I had with my bucket, go to him. And I had no idea that what he's busy with, and he was involved with my bucket second grade, and he took care of the guys. Mamish.
wow, that's special. I know he's a wonderful mechanic to get shimush from. Rafi is amazing. I know. First of all, my own son who's here, he's helped with, and then also when my brother was in yeshiva, he's a wonderful mechanic to get shimush from and learn from it, and it helps. If anybody who's a counselor in a camp, this becomes one of their stepping stones to do more and be someone who cares about Klal Yisrael and cares about doing things for the community. And I think that's always one of the miles of a staff member in camp, is to take home that message of doing and giving back to the community and learning from how to interact and engage and deal with situations. Avi, I'm sure that's been your experience in camps when you've worked also, is like
1000%.
how it changes your perspective of everything. It's not just camp, it's not just for fun, it's not just work, it's a whole new...
We used to always have the model that we think that the counselors are giving the campers are giving the counselors. What the counselors get from the campers, more probably than they give the campers. Because not that the campers are actually giving anything to the counselors, but they're gaining from them a tremendous amount, which obviously you feel about. Pretty incredible. Let me ask you a question. I heard about this ABBL. ABBL.
You have no idea how much fun it is to ref it. You have no
I'm sure it's
idea.
not so much fun probably to ref it. Are the counselors the refs also?
The counselors are the refs also.
That is a very hard job, probably.
It's harder than being a counselor.
I'm sure it is.
It creates a
So
little
let me
bit
ask you a
of...
question. What happens if you call a bad call
Me?
on your favorite? Not
Bad
you,
call,
but another
no.
counselor. Guy calls a bad call, and you have your camper, and he now just lost the game for his team. And his camper, you are the worst person in the world because you blew it for him.
And that's why we make this league for 8th graders.
Very good.
So that they should know, and they're mature enough to understand, we hope, that everybody's human. So refing is not an easy job. But it's a very enjoyable league. Right now we're in playoffs, actually. I believe there were 4 teams today that were the underdogs that had a worse record than the team they were playing that won in the first round of the playoffs.
Nice, okay.
Wow. It's the grit,
Beautiful.
the grind, everything pays off, and the long pitch was a lot of fun. It's fun to watch. I didn't ref today, Baruch Hashem, and I got to sit in the stands, and I got to watch. And you have people that aren't playing, they also come to watch. And it's an exciting, intense league that the guys really enjoy. They talk about it. They love playing in there. It's a lot of fun. ABBL was a great idea.
One of the questions we had before, and is a camper who is not sports oriented, and maybe he's not an ABBL type of kid. Is there some other options, ideas, or do you help encourage it? What do you guys do?
I'll give you a great example. I had a camper this year that he came up to me and said he doesn't want to be part of the league, but he's a big archery guy. So he went over to Rabbi Neiman, our amazing head counselor, and Rabbi Neiman, who was ever so helpful with MS. He told the kid, he said, "You have a bow and arrow at home?" He said, "Yes." He said, the kid sent in his own bow and arrow. I came in with his own bow and arrow. And
Wow.
he would go, and he'd go do archery every day with Mamash.
Wow. See, it's not, we were discussing before and I didn't get the answer. I would have thought that they're forced to do this. No, they work with every kid's personality and strength. I think there are other things. There's bike riding, they have biking and things.
Yeah,
there are a lot of other
mountain
options.
Do they still have the ropes course here?
They do.
They do, okay, good.
They do.
Very good. I'm sure it's used a lot.
It is.
Very
It's
nice.
a lot
So
of fun. Good zip line over there. It's good. The person who runs is very exciting. Very free. It's very exciting.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you very, very much.
My pleasure.
And it's
Thank you
great to have
much,
you.
Hatzlacha, and thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
One day you'll come and be one of your campers in 20 years from now. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I got through 8th grade because of you.
We try.
That's what happens. It's true. That's what it
It's
is.
100%.
Not all of them, hopefully, but you'll definitely have that kid that Made it through because of you.
And that was his chiyas for life, because he did well in camp.
100%.
If it wasn't enjoyable, then we wouldn't be here. But nice, everybody. It's
Amazing.
Great.
Ashrecha.
Thank
you
you
for
so
coming.
much.
Thank you for doing what you do.
my pleasure.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much.
the Fachrama.
We're gonna
Move along.
Yes, we are gonna move
Well,
along.
they're winding
until-
up the guest tonight.
Yeah, we got to keep it
Very
going.
good job.
We got to keep it going until we
Give
get to
a shout out
until we
our
get the
producer,
concert.
who's like really doing a great job doing this. Not our producer. Our producer's home, watching with this, is busy texting us.
Yes.
But our substitute
Wait,
producer,
Nechem
Yahach, from Queens, New York. The
Uh,
man.
Executive producer. He's able to control
Watch out,
control
it's
our
buzzing,
message
it's buzzing, it's
from
buzzing, it's
all the way
buzzing.
from Queens right now. He's sitting here, and you know what the truth is? I was looking around, and we're gonna try getting, if we can find Heshi, his son. We're gonna get Heshi on the show. If not, we know that he's having a great time because I've been sending all the pictures to.
Can we get Heshi Hach on the show? All the head staff, unaffiliated staff,
Find Heshi
and
quick.
staff. Can you find Heshi Hach, please?
What are these books over here?
Shalom Aleichem.
Reb Elchonon Hamada.
So I
how
know
are
that
you?
usually when on Agudah Live, you only have, sometimes the campers and the staff members, but I think is this unique to have a parent, former camper, former staff member on Agudah Live?
It is unique. It is
this
unique.
is the
We
first
have once
time.
in a
Yes.
while, but it is unique. Definitely unique.
Also,
what is this?
This is my yearbooks from when I
Wow.
was in Ruach country
Should I
many years
should I
ago.
say the numbers on
When
the
I,
yearbook?
well,
The
this
years
is
we should leave that.
Let's just go. These are the 80s. This is the 80s.
The 80s. We'll leave it
This
at
is
that.
the
He left the
80s.
70s at home.
Wow,
way,
you were
way
here in
back.
Camp by the 80s?
Yes. I was a camper, and then I became a staff member. Now I'm proud to say that I am a parent who had boys who were campers, and now they're staff members.
Yes, not only,
That's
I want to say Edus, that his son was my son's counselor, and great counselor, had a great time, took care of Moshe very nicely. Any questions, he dealt with him. Any issues he had, meaning did he want to instead do instead of sports do something else, it was amazing, and it comes in. It's all part of the family. We should also really, I just want to say, Elchonon is not just Camp Agudah. He is someone who's been involved in the Agudah in general for many, many years. When I first started, I've been in touch with him since then. Even recently, we worked together on Chavrei Hasiyim, which is a Siyam Hashas project in his shul. He took it by the bull, grabbed the bull by the horn. He has the whole shul learning. And it's not just a Camp Agudah parent. He's really someone who cares about the Agudah and therefore Klal Yisrael. So I just want to, it's not only camp over here, there's also Agudah.
Right. Last night, to be here for the Grand Sing was something amazing. I haven't been here in many years to come back for the Grand Sing. And as an outsider, I know the parents will, really enjoy this. There is something special that happened last night that will take your son through the winter.
Amazing.
And we have over here, he's just over here, the songs last night were amazing. The winning team, I mean, we're not going to say the
I'm sure
other
both
team,
teams
the
had
other
good
team-
songs.
Yes. The blue team had beautiful songs. The green team also had amazing. It was very enjoyable also that there were some Camp Agudah alumni who came back last night. It was discussing the older days when we were in camp years ago and how times have
Nostalgic.
changed. Yes.
In my days,
You see,
we had the
I
best
right.
songs.
remember when we
And also the way Rabbi Neiman put it for these kids, they started with Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael to realize that unfortunately there have been tragedies that have happened. They're in a bubble over here, but you're all part. See, this is what Agudah stands for. You're all part of Klal Yisrael. And that was given over to the children last night. That you're part of the whole.
That's not good. That's not good flavor.
Correct.
That's not good flavor.
Right. Not just where in Chanami you might not have known what's going on, but. That's right. We're gonna have an amazing concert here. An amazing concert.
Shlomi Daskal's in the house, everybody.
Right. Getting ready for the Siyam Hashas.
He has entered the dining room.
Well, I don't know if we can say, but
Well, you just jumped the gun on that one.
I shouldn't say that. Well, okay, let's backtrack. Shlomi Daskel has sung.
Did the Siyam Hashas.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did a wonderful job.
Right.
No
It's gonna be
questions
on this.
asked.
Okay, we won't discuss this.
We're taking-
coming up.
we're taking
just
votes.
just make sure to get your tickets.
And
Just
which
make
are,
sure you
which
get
are
your-
live.
Right.
And you can order them at thesiyam.org.
.org or
Right.
call 877
Right.
CM 13.
And today is a very special day because today all the Lemdei Daf Yomi we're finishing Masechtas Tamura.
Yes.
Which for the last 30 days has been extremely hard. When you're saying that the days are counting down, for those on Daf Yomi, Tamura is definitely one of the hardest Masechtas. Krisis, we heard, has a little bit longer, the more on the page, the Amudim are a little bit longer, but we're looking forward. I think we're up to 134.
It's about that.
We saw that in Australia, 135.
In Melbourne, Australia, they give out in honor of the Siyam Hashas. Instead of the Siyam for Tamura, they give out cupcakes to all the Loim de Hadaf. They had a nice chocolate cupcake. Instead of 134 days left till the Siyam Hashas, which we're going to be celebrating on January 1st. January 1st, 2020. So it's 0101 at 1. January 1st, it'll be starting at 1 o'clock, MetLife Stadium. And we have, besides for a wonderful Siyam Hashas, there's tremendous other opportunities of learning, growth, shuls, Masmidi Asiyam, Daf Yomi Chaburas, Chavri Asim, of course. Perhaps we're going to try having a first Seder at the Siyam, which we are working on. Please, we're really working on that.
Seder for the Siyam.
Yes, which if you guys see your tefillos, the building will be available for us, but otherwise we might be in trouble. Avi Shanal is going to help us pull out some shtick for that.
We'll take care of it.
I just was before Reb Matisyo passed by, and he was going to Daven Mar. That's one thing that Camp Agudah has over the generations, the Gedolim, which I was going to show you if you wanted to look over here. There's pictures of the Gedolim who used to come to camp. One thing a camper who goes to Camp Agudah knows that every Shabbos, there's a Gadol here. In my days, Rav Rudim, now this is before, the advent of let's just say communication, that people were able to, you didn't see Gadol. Maybe you went to the Agudah convention, you saw from all over. Rav Rudiman was in Camp Agudah. Reb Gifter was in Camp Agudah. I was just talking to Rabbi Frischman. They used to walk hand in hand to all the campers. You had accessibility. The Bostoner Rebbe would come. Every Shabbos there was something here. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky came. The Beluzhever Rebbe came here.
Wow.
I think that right before he was Nifta, he came. These are memories that we as campers have. The Alta Novominsker Rebbe came.
Wow.
I remember one thing. Friday afternoon, we were running around the Novominsker Rebbe. The Rosh Agudah Stroll was sitting, being Mavis Sedra, oblivious to what was going on. He was outside his bungalow where we were staying, being Mavis Sedra. These are memories that I, from my days in camp, have. And of course, we cannot go without saying the once a year that Rav Moshe Sherer used to come to Camp Agudah. That was something that, Rav Meir is not here. We were on the top.
Best behavior.
Yes, the dining room was beautiful. I always say I was working in the kitchen one year when Rabbi Sherer came. I had the honor of taking care of him. He gave me a tip. I was kamat zicha, that money that came out of the mint. It was the crispest bill I ever had. But when he came, it was once a year. It was something special, to impart to the campers. We used to, we didn't have a gym.
He would speak to the camp?
He would come in, he would speak to the camp. Even at then when he was sick. He was sick one year, he came back. It's a beautiful, they have a video of it that we were told you're not allowed to shake his hand. Base came, and Reb Shimshon said to him, how could I? He says,
I just skipped the host to know. So
what happened was we were told Rabbi Sherer was not well. It was a big thing. It was like a late minute thing. Rabbi Sherer was coming to camp. He came to camp. He walked straight in. No one's allowed to touch him. He's walking out of the dining room, the old dining room, and Bunk Lamed Beis jumps up, and they start hugging him and giving him handshakes. And everyone was like, they had their mouths open because you weren't allowed to shake. And then, he walked out. So he had come with Reb Shimshon, his son, and Reb Shimshon says, I thought no one was allowed to hug you. He says, they're my children. How could a father not hug his children?
Wow.
Now, this is something that we spoke about on the video after, I think that year that when they gave out the video, they had Reb Shimshon speaking about this. The next year he spoke about it and it was highlighted. So these are memories that only in this camp. There's no other camp you're going to have this. This is something very, very special that parents, will be able to say. Last night the songs. This is Zmiris. The songs that were sung last night. All the kids are going to come home. They're going to sing the versions of this. The Zmiris are going to be different. The Zmiris on Shabbos are going to be different. Why? Because these are the songs that the children hear. They have from the Grand Sing.
And what's incredible is that it's not just memories that you had when you were here. It continues. They're doing the same thing.
Right. And now
you was Rav Rudiman, and today's Ramat Yisrael.
Correct.
And all the other Gedolim might come on different Shabbos in the year. It just goes. It continues
right.
to
so
go.
the sorry that I have, you're able to give over to my children. They can be able to give over. So it's something. I'm sure there are people from who, when I came here, Reb Duvie asked me, Reb Moshe came. There were times that this was the place where everyone came.
And now I don't know what was in the previous generation, but right now when there's an Adam Gadol here, there's a lot of interaction with the Gedolim. There's a Q&A often. They give a shmooze and they give shmooze into the different grades on their level. It's not just the visual that's also powerful. There's an opportunity to learn from them, talk to them. My son told me last year they got to ask for Shmuel. There was a Q&A with Shmuel on Shabbos. You don't get a chance like that living in the typical guy, living in Flatbush, wherever you are, to interact and engage and really, real life Gedolim in that way. And that's something very special that's happening in camp on a daily basis. Now you have the Mashgiach Maseo Salman here for a few weeks, and just to see him walking to shul.
Shmuel came.
Shmuel came, which
Shmuel came. You know what that is? That a 10-year-old, 11-year-old was able to see. This is a Khan of Rosh Hashiva that they're able to see.
Well, B'chana, we're running out of time. Actually, the concert is going to start shortly. And we have a few minutes people we want to interview.
But I would like to ask, he's been
I wanted to know for a few seconds. I know my time is running out. If it's possible, since we have thousands upon thousands of people, Reb Avi, can you tell everybody what you do for Agudah Yisrael of America? And I'm shy also. Everyone wants to know, what do you do? I'm going to switch it. I'm doing the interview here. Reb Avi Schnell.
We ran out of time.
No, I know that. Reb Avi Schnell,
who runs. This is the reason why we ask the questions.
This is important, Avi.
30 seconds to a minute. Give everybody. Forget about it. We all know what I got to do.
Avi, close your eyes and make believe you're doing keynote at the Agudah convention. Go.
I got to put on my serious face now.
No. Tell everyone.
But on what we do, it's hard to sum it up in a nutshell or 30 seconds or less. But I believe that Rabbi Zubel always tells us that the one-liner of our Agudah Yisrael is that we serve as the voice and arm of the Orthodox community. But that's the longer version of that is that Baruch Hashem, Agudah Yisrael as a whole. And it's not just me, it's not just Shai. We're part of a huge unit and a huge group of people that really are. I look at them as my role models. I aspire to be like them. And we have all the other regional directors, Rabbi Zubel, Rabbi Becker, and the whole group of people that Agudah Yisrael, its motto, its purpose, is to serve and to shoulder and to take care of the needs of the klal. Whether that means in New York State with the education issues, which is the lightest way of saying it, the crisis going on there, we're at the forefront. Whether it's New Jersey, helping with getting buses, helping with other issues, religious issues, pirchei, benos, a new shidduch issue that will just start by.
So if there's somebody who lives in California, he has a phone number who to reach.
There's an office in California.
Miami?
There's an office in Miami. There's an office
in Cleveland, Denver,
in Chicago, in Denver, in Washington. Then there's the national office. You have A.D. Motzen, who lives in Cincinnati, that literally is in another state every other week. He's been in Rhode Island.
So it's not just the tri-state, it's the entire United States of America.
Yeah, I know you live in Brooklyn, but you should know that there are Jews outside of Brooklyn also. And we do address their needs and work for them, for their needs and on their issues in their communities, in their states.
Before I go, on behalf of everyone who's listening, we would like to thank you for the Mesiras Nefesh that both of you, with your office, what you do, and I'm sure there's things you can't even tell anyone what they do behind the scenes, but Yasher Koyach for what you do, and Hashem should give you the Koyach to continue your Avodah Zakayach.
Thank you very much. Before we cut to the convention, Gosh.
You see where your head is. Cut to the concert.
The concert. I really wanted to bring on one last guest so we could talk about, we really didn't get to have our, what do you call it?
Did we find Hach?
No, Hach. And Besser, is Yechiel Besser around?
We're going to get in such trouble.
Okay, Shalom Aleichem, welcome.
Who are you?
My name is Akiva Besser.
Akiva?
Besser.
Oh, tell me you're related to Shirley Besser, please.
Please, just say you're related.
Thank God. Okay, I didn't get Yechiel, we got Akiva instead.
Nephew?
Second cousin.
Okay, good. Same last name.
Good enough.
We'll make Shirley happy this way.
So the rumor is that you are a color war general. You were a color general, no?
False rumor. Close.
For what were you?
I had the schus of leading the Grand Sink.
Okay, I knew it was color war related.
Color war, very good.
All right.
It counts. I remember my last year in camp. That's what I did. I wrote the songs, and I had to lead the choir also. We did not win, but it was a lot of fun anyway.
Choir?
I led the choir.
Okay, you didn't win. Okay. So you led the Grand Sing last night.
Yes.
Which team?
For blue.
That won.
Yes.
Oh,
the winning color war team.
Woo!
All right.
Very good. Can you sing for us the theme song?
Are you serious?
Okay. Sure. Last time we tried having a lot of the kids come and sing. It was beautiful. The theme
song. You actually had a bunk last time that sang the whole. They did the whole thing.
The high part. The theme song.
Okay.
It's been.
Give it a shot.
No, you don't have to.
Yeah, it's okay. What's your position in camp?
I'm a counselor.
What grade?
7th grade.
What year in camp are you?
This is my 10th year in camp.
Oh my gosh.
Do they have like the HBBC in 7th grade? I know there's the ABBF in 8th grade. There's the AFFL in 9th grade.
LMNOP.
What does the 7th grade have?
The 7th grade.
Just regular leagues.
Regular stuff.
All right.
They're just normal. They don't need any of this extra funky excitement.
We just have fun.
Just have a good time.
Yep, that's right.
So, 10 years you've been here. How many years you've been a staff member?
This is my 5th year.
5th year as a staff member. Always been in the same grade, or you've been working in different grades?
This happens to be my 3rd year in a row doing 7th grade. Before that, I was a 5th grade co-counselor, and I was an 8th grade JC and a daycare counselor before that.
Okay, wow. So how was the experience leading the Grand Sing of camp?
It was like a dream come true. It was
Oh, wow.
unbelievable. It was. I'm telling you, you can't really explain it till you're up there. But like just to be leading half the camp.
Is there a lot of pressure on you?
It is, but like once the song starts, you just get into a zone, and it's
Really?
all
It doesn't like when you get to like that high part, like 3, 2, 1. When they cut you off, like 3, 2, they start to sing and you lost it.
Well, then
like you start over again.
The nerves come back, and then reality crashes down on you. But,
with any like blotches?
It
was smooth.
Baruch Hashem was smooth sailing.
It was smooth. I remember watching a Grand Sing once. They let to start the song all over again.
Oh wow!
They did like a 3, 2, 1, and it just was.
I don't know what I would have done.
And then they stopped and said, "Let's do this one more time."
Oh gosh!
I was a judge that I gave the guy an extra point because he didn't like cry on the stage. Because it's not easy. But you didn't have any of that last night.
Hashem, not. Thanks.
Well, you won. So obviously they're pretty good.
I've been pushing Shimon that we should, just like tonight, we're gonna live stream the concert. Better Hashem, next year I want to live stream the Grand Sing.
Oh yeah.
Talk about the pressure and the nerves.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. Come on, the memories. It'd be so nice. I think really we should do that. But we're about to go into the concert and we're going to cut to there in a minute. But what's your message that you have? In the past, it's been to the parents. What would you give the campers? They're going to go home. They'll watch this again when they get home. What message do you want?
All the brothers that didn't come to Camp Agudah.
Well, you're making them jealous. I want to know
for next year. What's the message?
Now, any camper who's been to Camp Agudah Chaps and realizes that there's something special that only Camp Agudah has to offer. So you just spend 8 weeks in this atmosphere, in this Rabbi Neiman likes to call it this little bubble. And Baruch Hashem are cut off from the world. And we're about to go into a concert. We just had a beautiful Grand Sing. Just take every single moment you've had with you in these past 4 to 8 weeks. Internalize as much as you can. And whenever you, for me personally, whenever I watch something related to Camp Agudah, whether it be a memories video or these live or these concerts, it brings me back to what I experienced and how much I gained from camp. And that's my message to every single camper and every single counselor. Internalize anything and everything that you've gotten from this camp and how much it's made you grow, and use it throughout the year to help you as much as it can.
Beautiful, awesome. Beautiful message. Thank you very much. Sure. Thank you for joining, and thank you for having a great time in camp and leading the Grand Sing.
That's right. The next year live. That's a good idea. Get ready for next year.
If we could,
are we cutting to the concert?
We're about to cut to the concert, and I thank you all for joining.
Thank
you all for listening. I hope you'll enjoy the concert that's starting now with Shmuel Younger, Shlomi Daskal, the Freilich Orchestra, and we look forward to you guys joining us again at Agudah Live next time.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Markowitz.
Thank you, Avi. It's a pleasure to join.
Have a good night to all the parents and the grandparents and the siblings and the future campers and current campers and everybody else. Thank you so much. Have a great night.